Man, oh man, I've been playing Path of Exile 2 early access. We had some issues yesterday when the servers, had some problems, but we got in it and I created a witch. That's the character that from all the gameplay footages, that was kind of the character that kind of spoke to me. I wanted to play the monk and it was kind of between the witch or the monk. I chose the witch. I just want to give you guys my thoughts after about 8 hours of playing the game. This is a game that I've been really excited to just get my hands on and play. I'm a brand new player to Path of Exile. This is kind of my first time, and I wanted to be there this time around. My background when it comes to ARPGs is mainly Diablo 2. I played Diablo 3, played Diablo 4, but Diablo 2 to me to this day is still lightning in a bottle and frozen in time. Like there's never going to be another Diablo 2, but I've been actually looking for the next ARPG that I can move on to because I've put a lot of time in Diablo 2. I've put a lot of hours over the years on and off, and I've played a lot of Resurrected and I've made videos about it. I'm very passionate about Diablo 2, and it's just nice to really hear the developers were really inspired by Diablo 2, a game that I absolutely love. Path of Exile 2 might be the game that I jump on and play for a long term. I think Diablo 2 will always be there, and I'll probably hop on and off like I usually do. There's times where I play a lot, then there's times where I play other games. But I've been looking for a game that kind of takes its place for a bit. Where I thought Diablo 4 was going to do that, and I think there's good things about Diablo 4. I don't want to shit on Diablo 4, and I think it's really easy for people to talk badly about that game, but overall I think, every time I made a new character, every time I played a season, I had a good time. Was it the best thing ever? Would I change a couple of things? Absolutely. It's not perfect by any means, but I think Diablo 4 is a decent game for what it is. Now, it's hard to play Path of Exile without comparing it to Diablo 4, since Diablo 4 is the most recent game that is, developed by a AAA studio like Blizzard, and, it's an action RPG. The thing that I feel like Path of Exile 2 is doing is really evolving the genre. And it's crazy because it's a smaller team and it's a smaller scale kind of project, it feels like, compared to Diablo, where Diablo, the marketing and the budget and everything. But what's crazy about Path of Exile 2 is the fact that, like, you can feel the passion and dedication and love and care when you play this game. You can tell the people who made this game are really passionate about what they do. Every time they talk, every time they go over things, characters, classes, they're just very passionate. And you kind of see that and feel that when you play the game. And this is not to take away from Diablo 4 or the developers who made that game, but I'm talking here about Path of Exile 2. Just the way they're moving things forward, just the way that it feels like this is an evolution. It feels like it's a step forward in the action RPG genre space, and I'm all for it, man. The gameplay feels amazing. It feels really smooth and fluid, and the way your skills work, the animations, everything that's happening together feels really good. I've been playing it on the PlayStation 5 Pro. I'll probably play on the PC as well, but I picked up this console recently and I want to, play more games on it, and the game is out on PlayStation and Xbox, so I was like, let me play it. And I love playing these games with a controller, the same way I love playing Diablo 4 with a controller, and I play Diablo 2 with the controller. There's just something about playing with the controller with ARPGs that just feels really good, and this feels really good. You can tell that the controller, gameplay is not an afterthought. Like, this was something that they developed from the ground up. It doesn't feel like, this was like a second thought. or anything. It feels really good. It feels really smooth. You got enough buttons. You can use the L2 to open up another set of buttons for skills. There's really a nice satisfying feeling for me when I use a controller. I know a lot of people like to use, mouse and keyboard for these type of games, and more power to you. So controller, console feels really great. Graphics, visuals look amazing. Playing on the PS5 Pro, and I'm sure this looks really, really good on a high-end PC as well. But dude, the game looks amazing. It's gorgeous. All the colors, all the spells, all the effects, all the things that's happening on screen. Visually, it's really, really like it's eye candy. Especially when you're firing off on all cylinders, the game just looks beautiful with all your minions and all your skills and, fire and ice and electricity. All these things look really, really good in this game. They pop, they have flair to them, and visually, it's amazing. Gameplay wise, it feels really good. I'm still pretty early on. I'm level 15 and I'm on the final boss of chapter 1. He is kicking my ass. The thing about this game is it's not easy, and that's something that I like. I feel like where you can get away with things with other games like Diablo 4, here you have to be very meticulous. You have to be very, attention to detail oriented. You got to really think about what you're doing. What are you putting your stuff into? What skills are you unlocking? What synergies with gems are you using? And you might be able to get by here and there. You're going to eventually hit walls, though, and you might need to go back and farm. You might need to go back and level up to put points into your massive passive skill tree, which is very intimidating for new players. But I think the game is challenging, but it also has a really good way of kind of introducing you and teaching you a little bit. You can hover over any pretty much word in the game and it tells you a description about it. When you're running around and you're walking over an item, you don't have to pick it up, but you'll see on the screen what it is. Just like quality of life things like that I really, really found that I thought were really, really good when it came to a game like this, right? I don't need to pick something up to look at it. I can just walk over it. Things pop up on the screen. I really love that. There's just a little bit of attention to detail in how they've crafted the game that I think really elevates these small things that really elevate the game as a whole and make the experience that much better and smoother. There's a lot of times where items are dropping, but I don't want to pick everything up, or maybe my stash is full and I just walked over it, looked at it, didn't want it. Really love that. Going back to the difficulty really quickly, the boss fights are very challenging. The enemies, you can be surrounded. If you're not careful, you can be clapped pretty quickly when it comes to the enemies, if you're not ready for it. And there's a sense of danger in this world. There's a sense of like, I really got to know what I'm doing. And when you are fighting a boss, like you feel like there's a level of danger, and I really like that. And you can't teleport. You kind of have one time to do it, and if you die, you have to restart the boss. There's a level of satisfaction when it comes to the challenge. There's a risk and reward, and as much as the final boss of Act 1 is giving me a hard time, like it's one of those things that's, the game is telling me to go back and farm and make your character better so you can come back and defeat him. And that's what I've done with a couple of other bosses that I had a hard time with. I had to go back and rethink my strategy. I had to maybe level up some things or find better gear. I like that. It's not a breeze. You're not going to just, destroy every single thing. And you might be able to later down the road, but when you're, level 15 and you're still creating your character, you're gonna feel like you're not that strong, even though you feel like your character is progressing slowly. Your character is slowly getting stronger, and I really like that. So gear is really interesting. Gems, the way you level up your character, the way you level up skills. It's all very different. It's very unconventional. It's very Path of Exile, where like if you find like an uncut gem, that's when you can like pick a skill, then you can like level up gems, you can level up skills through gems. And it's an interesting way for, you know, the for a game like this. It's definitely different systems and mechanics that I'm used to. I'm used to, obviously, you level up, you put a point into your skill tree. In Path of Exile, it's different. When you level up, you're actually putting a point in your passive skill tree, and the way you level up your skills and you obtain skills is through gems. This is something that I'm still kind of undecided on if I enjoy this system or not. I need to play more, I need to invest more, but hey, I'm open-minded. If this is the way this game is, then, you know, it is what it is. It's not bad, but I'm just not used to it. And I think I need more time to kind of really sink my teeth in and understand the systems and mechanics and the way this game really works, because that's another thing about this game is the complexity of this game compared to a Diablo game. There's things that you got to spend a lot of time in this game, I feel like, to kind of get to a point where you understand, you know, the fundamentals, where you understand, okay, this works with that. That's where I feel like you're either going to lose people or you're going to obtain, you know, an audience specifically for that niche. Because I can tell you right now, this game is intimidating, even though I think Path of Exile 2 is a lot more approachable than the first game. It's still a challenging, intimidating game for especially someone who's never played an ARPG. This is their first time. They're going to be overwhelmed for sure, and they're probably better off playing a game like Diablo 4. And I don't say that in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, this game takes a different approach, and it's asking for your full attention, and it's asking for you to really put in the time and energy and effort into playing this game and to understanding how this game works. Because if you don't, you're gonna be overwhelmed. You're not gonna be able to move, you know, from boss to boss and progress. For me, that's fine. I like the challenge and I love that. You know, it's not easy to kind of, the entry to barrier for this game is gonna be determined on you. How far do you want to take it? How far do you want to go? It's by no means like a casual type of game. The guys that are making this game seem like they want to make a game that is hardcore. They don't care if people don't like it. They know their audience. They know it's a niche genre already, and then they're going even super niche with the systems and mechanics that this game offers. When you have a game that is not afraid to be what it is, you're probably going to lose casual people, but in turn, you're going to have an amazing game that is tailored towards a specific audience, where the developer is listening to feedback, listening to their fan base. And that's amazing. That's one of the biggest things that kind of drew me into this game, is the fact that the developers really seem like they play their game intensely. They listen to the feedback and they want to create something that is definitely one of a kind experience that maybe not everybody's going to jump on board with, and that's okay. This game is definitely challenging, and I think the challenge is going to either push people away or invite players who want to take it to the next level. I don't want to, you know, I don't want this to sound intimidating for new players. When I say challenge, like, I don't think the game is so challenging that, like, you know, you're not going to find a way to progress. I think it just takes time, and it's going to take a lot longer of a time than maybe a Diablo 4. That's really kind of my first impressions with Path of Exile 2. It's been a really amazing 8 hours, just completely hooked in. Like, I had to, like, pull myself away from the game to make this video. Like, that's how invested I am right now into this game, and I really want to see where this goes. Am I going to stick around long term? Am I going to really go deep into this game? I don't know yet, because I still, you know, I'm the type of gamer where I enjoy a lot of games. I like to play the newest things. And then I love to go back and play Diablo 2 if I'm playing ARPG. So this is kind of like new territory for me. And I'm trying to find out if this is the game this is the next game that I really just go hard on and maybe make content for it on this channel. I don't know yet what I'm gonna do in the future, but I really wanted to play this game give my first impressions. I'm going to continue to play it. I might even try different classes. We are in early access. It's $30 to get in. You know, this game is probably going to be a lot different when it's fully released. It's going to be free to play. That's another thing, free to play for what this game has to offer. Everything this game offers, and it's going to be free to play. We only have 3 chapters right now. And because of the way, you know, we're in early access, we're going to do those 3 chapters again because there isn't 4, 5, 6 yet. So you're going to do 3 chapters, do it again, and then hit endgame. And then when the full game comes out, you're going to have, you know, 6 chapters and then endgame. So the reason they're doing this is because they're focusing on endgame. And that, to me, is so awesome because, like I've said before, like a lot of people have said before, end game is probably the most important thing when it comes to these games. To me, I've said this before about Diablo 2. I love the grind. I love the journey from 1 to max level. To me, that is just as important as the end game. If you don't have a strong end game, I'm gonna eventually get tired and bored and maybe make another character or move on to the next game. You need a strong end game to keep your hardcore audience there, and you need a strong, you know, journey from 1 to level to max level, a campaign, acts, chapters, dungeons. You need that to be strong as well, because that's important. That's the bulk of the game for many people, at least in the beginning. I feel like you know, they're really going hard here, and the fact that it's going to be free to play is amazing. I don't know, man, like this game is a breath of fresh air, and I said it in my other video, like it reminds me a lot of Larian. Like these 2 studios are a lot smaller in scale compared to some of these big AAA studios out there, and I think they're really you know, competing, and they're holding their own, and they're telling you, hey man, we're gonna create something, we're gonna create something that's amazing, that people are gonna love, and we're gonna put passion into these projects. And that is something that I feel like is missing in a lot of games today. Is it's too much of a business versus a passion project. And I feel like, you know, Grinding Gear Games is a studio that is very, very passionate about what they're doing, what they say they're gonna do, and I love that. That is one of the reasons why I gravitated towards this game, why I want to support this game, why I want to keep playing. It's exciting. It's exciting to be a part of this game right now. And the hype. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I'm going to keep playing it. If you made it this far, man, I appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, hit that like button. That's the video, my first impressions of Path of Exile 2. Take it easy and have a good one.